Okay, let me come back to you. Okay, we are live on Facebook, guys. This is like my home away from home right now. Hello. I was just with you guys this morning, and we had some great interaction with Maria and with Dr. Samantha. And now I get to bring to you the lovely Alison. And her little girl is sitting on her lap because she wants to be with her mama, and that's all right. So Alison, why don't you tell us a little bit about you, your fertility story, whatever you want to share.
Sure. So my daughter is 4 months old. She was 4 months old last Wednesday. I just turned 45 on September 5th. And, you know, I got married late. I got married at 41. It was my first marriage. My husband's also the same age as me. And, you know, we kind of started trying immediately after that. This was in 2016. Mm-hmm. And nothing was really happening. I think I joined your course that year, right?
Yeah, I think it was the 2017, that one, right? Was it?
Yeah. So I think I joined Aimee's course when she kicked it off. I've known Aimee for a while, and
yes,
it sounded like an amazing course to help me with everything that I needed to do to prepare my body. And you know, the course the course was definitely great. It was really helpful to me. I, you know, was not truly following the diet a lot in the beginning, which, you know, I talked to you about. And I think I had a chemical pregnancy that following April, which was April 2017. And then, you know, I did get pregnant, but it just didn't stick. You know, I think it was about, you know, I think I just found out I was pregnant. And then basically the next week, I found out that it was a chemical. But, you know, I started getting serious about my diet. I took all the tools and everything that you provide, and, you know, started looking more into things. I saw RE, and the RE did a bunch of tests on me, and I think it was the saline sonogram that revealed that I had some small polyps in my uterus. So, but, you know, like I talked to you about it, I was a little unsure about getting surgery because it's surgery.
And it's scary, and it's like your private parts, and, you know, you're trying to get pregnant. Yeah,
exactly. So, you know, that was a little unnerving, and, you know, you did help me. We did try some Chinese herbs and things like that,
castor oil packs and stuff like that, but they didn't budge.
And you know, also during that time, I was still trying to decide if I was gonna do the surgery, and that was, I think it was October that year, 2017, that I had found out that I had the polyps, but I was still kind of unsure. So I was trying all the natural remedies. I got, you know, continued to be serious about following the protocol and the diet. And then I also, you know, just went out and saw a functional medical doctor to get additional tests done, and also switched to a new endocrinologist because
you have Hashimotos, right?
Yep, I had Hashimotos, which then became underactive thyroid, and I was on Synthroid, but it just wasn't doing anything for my numbers. And, you know, I just wasn't that happy with my doctor. I was asking her about, you know, going gluten-free and all these things, and she just was kind of like, no, it's fine. You know, diet doesn't really do anything. So I actually found another endocrinologist that a friend of ours recommended, and she did a series of tests too, and she helped me out. You know, she also recommended some of the supplements that you already had me on, in addition to some other ones. And also she said 100% gluten-free and dairy-free. So she also recommended, you know, very similar to what you recommend. And I think I saw them I guess it was 2018, like
It was
early
early
2018.
2018, I feel like, because
Yeah.
that's when it was like you really then were like, okay, I'm going to do the diet 100% now. Like I'm really in now.
Yep.
And I remember that. I feel like, yeah, I totally remember that. So go on. Yeah, but it was early 2018.
Yeah, so and she switched me to Armour Thyroid, and I was having excellent results on that. My endocrinologist, Synthroid wasn't really doing anything for me, and my TSH and my antibodies and everything was coming down with the diet and with the new medication. And then I was still kind of not sure about doing the surgery because I guess it's surgery. I was scared about having anesthesia and I mean, it's a day, it's like a couple hour procedure. You're in and out, but still, I was just not sure, and of course, the doctors, I asked my OBGYN and, I talked to the fertility doctor again, and they're all like, well, it could maybe help, but we can't, they can't say like if they think it really will help you or not. And then my period did also continue to be very heavy. And I think I asked you as well. And I'm like, do you think this the polyps that's making it heavy? And then I was just July of 2018, I was just like, I'm going to do it. Like,
because you still weren't pregnant, and it was like frustrating at that point because the chemical now had been like a year prior, basically. And then the dietary changes had been like 7 months, like pretty solid at that point, or at least 6 months solid at that point.
Yeah, at least.
It was like frustrating. Well, then you went and you did the surgery.
So go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, and it wasn't as bad as you thought it would be, right?
Yeah, it wasn't as bad as I thought. I mean, by the next day I was fine. So it wasn't even a long recovery time. I was overthinking everything. It was, in and out. And so I had the surgery done last August. I think it was around August 8th. I had one period. My husband and I went on a trip to Miami. I actually had my period during that trip. And then I came back and I had a follow-up from the surgery with the RE. And at that point in time, he started talking to me about donor eggs. And he was like, for best chance of success, I'm going to recommend donor eggs. I think you should come to our other facility and, talk to some people and this, that, and the other thing. And I was kind of just very, very upset about it.
I remember you posting in the group about it. Like, I remember that. And it was just so upset. I remember getting I got heated. I was like, you do not need donor eggs.
Yeah. And they didn't even test. He didn't even run my blood work again. It had been over a year since I've had my, all my hormones checked, and they didn't even run it again. And he's just like, oh, because they're focused on their numbers, and they want, because that's what he kept saying. Well, for best chances of success, this is what I'm recommending. And I was like, well, I know a lot of people would do that. I just don't think it's for us. And I said, I said I would probably rather adopt than do donor eggs, but that's, me, and that's how I feel. And so, I went home from that appointment. I was, pretty crushed, but I kept feeling in my gut that, it was going to happen. And I think I had even posted in the group that, I just know that it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Yeah. And then,
you turned 44.
I turned 44 a couple weeks later on my birthday. And about, probably, I think it was 11 days after I turned 44, my period was, I don't know, 3 or 4 days late, but I didn't test. I became one of those people that waited as long as possible because you just, you don't want to be that person that's testing one day after, so I tested and I had a positive, and I was like, oh my God. I took 2 tests and they were both positive. And then I went to the doctor that following week and they confirmed it, and they ran my blood work, and
here she is. And here she is in the flesh.
Aww. So just a couple days after I turned 44, I found out that I was pregnant with this little munchkin. It's just amazing. It was amazing. I just, and I really feel that, all your support and the tools that you provided really helped me basically build a team and, focus on what I needed for myself to make it happen.
Yeah, I agree. Because it's like even you guys saw with Maria and even Sharon and Kathy, it's like all of them were working with like they found the right team of doctors who were willing to support them,
Mhm.
because I think even with you, the switch of the thyroid meds and just,
Yeah.
I think also it was like hearing from an endocrinologist saying to you, the gluten and dairy thing really does impact your thyroid and your Hashimoto's. And it was like, okay, now I've heard it from how many different sources. And then the functional
Mhm.
doc was like, that was the functional doc was like really, supportive of that,
Mhm.
and finding the right set of parameters, and then finally doing the surgery. I mean, who knows, maybe it would have taken longer if this, who knows if the surgery was the finishing touch, but it doesn't really matter, because I mean it did
Yeah.
open you up, and she did come like literally the next month. I mean, you had the surgery
Yeah.
in July, August is when you got pregnant.
Yeah, and
um,
it's crazy. And then they had me on low dose birth control too for the surgery, and
but
I was just like, I was on birth control and I had
I
my
have
period, and
period.
the very next cycle is when we conceived.
It's
It was crazy.
amazing. It's
Yeah.
amazing. But I also look at too, it's like the time frame too of like, because it wasn't like you didn't have a good diet leading up to like January when you finally said, okay, I'm really
Yeah.
going to do this. You were still eating well. I think it was like consistency and frequency. Like the most consistent and frequent you became was like in the early 2018 or late
Yep.
2017. And so if we look at that, it was like a solid 8, 9 months. And I feel like, and you saw all the numbers changed. You had the right support, and I mean, it's just kind of amazing too that here they are saying like donor eggs, to her, and I mean, as a healthy child, it's like it's
Yeah.
just fascinating to me. It's not like you had like all these losses and they were always genetic issues, and it's just really an interesting thing. And a lot of girls are saying, they love to talk about donor eggs. My doctor told me the same thing. I'm 44 and a half, and I've been told donor eggs are our only option after the miscarriages. So is my doctor. He just looked at my age and some numbers. Yeah. And then someone else said we also have the male factor stuff too. But I would think too, it's like, um, I think like I give them some credit in the sense of they look at you and they say, okay, she's about to be 44. I want to get her a child. Like,
Yeah,
I don't think
absolutely.
they're trying to be that negative and mean,
Mhm.
but that they think your best chances are probably this. Not to
Mhm.
say that you can't, but I think more and more doctors are starting to say, listen, your odds of getting pregnant on your own are just as good as doing IVF with me. So you might as well just go get pregnant on your own, and if that's not working, then we can assess. But
Yeah.
you have time for the donor eggs too. That's the other thing. Like I have a couple girls right now where it's like, okay, you could start the donor process, you could look into that, mainly because like the partners are getting anxious,
Yeah.
but continue to try on your own and you see what happens, because of stories like, I mean, stories like you happen a lot, and it's
Yeah.
the best. I mean, obviously it's like amazing. We were just talking before of like, are you going to try for another? I mean, why not? Why not? We're a couple days apart, her and I feel like, she did all the right things to align her body, and obviously, as long as you're still menstruating and ovulating, there's some good eggs in there, and you just keep
Mhm.
realigning with that. And so, what about the like support in the Facebook group? Because you were
Um,
active in.
Yeah, it's a great group. I think the group really helps too because they understand. Like I think I even I remember I even posted in the group. I think I emailed you and I was
Yeah.
posting in the group about I just
Yeah.
feel like it's going to happen and I'm kind of devastated about this and even just asking about all the tests that you have like the H going for an
It's just you.
HSG and the saline sonogram and having polyps or surgery for endometriosis, like all that stuff. There's so many women that have had those experiences and just asking them, does it hurt, should I take this, like
Yeah.
what happened to you?
And they just walk
Just
you through it.
great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. And then
Yeah.
even, you've been a pretty active part in the new mama group or the Yes You Are Pregnant group too,
Yes.
and that's,
Yes.
it's not as active. It's getting more active now, but I think girls get pregnant and then they life gets busy and you kind of fade out and then you have a baby and you
Yeah.
feel like pop in here and there, but
Yep.
um that was always nice too, to have you popping in there and then asking pregnancy related questions and
Yeah.
getting support in that. I know.
Yeah, no, the community is great. It's everyone's so helpful, and there's some people that are always like there answering your questions, so it's so
always.
nice.
Yeah, always there cheering everybody on. And let's see. So I'm trying to think what other, I feel like for you it was fairly straightforward once you kind of figured out your rhythm, right? And then so what would you say were your biggest takeaways? Was it the like consistency with doing the diet and the whole, all the tools?
Yeah, I would definitely say like the consistency and knowing like, that it was working. I was feeling so much better with the diet and of course the medication, and, you could just feel the difference. Like I just felt so much better. I was losing weight. My skin looked great. Like, all of that. And then, once you start seeing that, like, you're like, oh, there's a reason why I should be eating this way and following this protocol. You just feel so much better.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. And she's the living proof too. And motherhood, you've been enjoying that.
Yes. I was just chatting with Aimee before. I'm going back to work on the 7th. So, a little sad about it, and it's been great to be home and bond with her. And it's just been amazing. I'm so grateful for you and this community, and I definitely attribute it to our success.
Yeah. I mean, I'm grateful for you too. And I loved, we've known each other a long time, and it was like, I knew when she was getting married, and I was just like, yeah, just you're going to hop into this program. Okay. This is what you're going to do. And then when it was like with the chemical, and then it was like in my head, it was taking longer than it should. I just remember that where I was like, okay, and I remember messaging you. I was like, can we put you on herbs? Like I almost like reached out to you. I remember that where I was like, okay, we got to talk.
Yeah.
Regroup here.
Because that was the only pregnancy
that
I had.
Year. Yeah, it was over a year from the chemical, and I just, and she was in the group and circling around, and I was like, and I do that with the girls. Like, it's like even she wasn't necessarily coming to me outwardly for additional help, and I just kind of reached out to her, and I was like, hey, and then we talked about the polyps, and that's when we put you on the herbs, and and then I think hearing from like another source about the diet, that was where she was just like, okay, I'm gonna do this. And like and I remember saying to you something like, what do you have to lose? Like just like go in 100%. Let's just see. It's worked for other girls in the group, and that's it too, like the social proof, right, where you see, oh, there's other girls with Hashimotos, and they're like Maria's case where we just were live with Maria, and although she's not pregnant yet and she's the same age as you and she's had a chemical, she like her Hashimoto's, her antibodies are like under 9, like they're not even detectable anymore.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah.
And she's still on the meds, but like with the diet, it's been a year in the program, and it took her a while. She was like, it was really like 3 months before I really got into it, so it's like legit, she's like 9 months into everything. And still I'm working with a functional doc and like getting her progesterone right and all these things, but she just got her antibodies tested in July, and they're undetectable.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Crazy. That's like a side effect, if you will, but to me it's like, okay, so any moment she's going to be pregnant any second, and that's kind of how I remember feeling with you. I was like, any second Alison's going to message, any second.
Yep.
And then, I mean, I think the timing, it's just as crushing as it was to hear about the donor thing. It's also, I always find that so interesting that then, here's your body saying, oh, no, like, don't lose hope. Here I am. I'm right here. I got you, and that shift was so good. I love it.
Yeah.
So let's see. We also have some male factors. This is all very encouraging. Everybody's tuning in. Like, so does anybody have any questions for Alison? So basically she followed the program, and because you didn't even do like autoimmune, like you didn't go as far as removing beans and nuts.
No, I just was dairy. Yeah, strictly soy, gluten, and dairy.
And then how about now? Have you gone back a little bit, or are you?
My diet has slid a little bit, but
That's okay.
But my entire pregnancy, I remained gluten-free. I did do some dairy because I felt like I needed it, and my body didn't respond negatively to it. So, but yeah, my entire pregnancy, I was also gluten-free. So,
there we go. All right. Yeah. Everybody's saying this is so encouraging. This is so encouraging. Yeah. Oh, someone just asked, is Aimee currently pregnant? No, Linda, not at this moment in time, but maybe soon. I'll keep you posted. We're not actively trying at this moment, but the conversation is circling. So how about that? I'll keep you posted though. You guys will know as soon as I know. Okay, are we off again? Another story. I love this. Oh, you guys are so cute. Curious what Alison felt was the most difficult part with the food program. What did you feel was most difficult?
Probably like, I mean, if you're used to eating gluten,
no pizza sucks.
Yeah, the pizza. That can be very difficult, especially if you're used to just grabbing a sandwich or a wrap or something like that for lunch. But I mean, luckily where I live, there's a lot of healthy food choices, and there's a couple of health food stores that have like hot bars with salads and fish and all kinds of options that made it a little bit easier to get lunch. So
yeah.
I can see probably it's a challenge for some people if you do have to like make your own food and bring it in to work every day. But yeah, probably the giving up gluten was probably the most difficult. But it's not hard when you think about it.
Changes in your skin and your hair and your weight, right? Like all those things shifted too.
Yep. Yeah.
And let me see. So where is it? Okay. Oh, what was it? Okay. Are there herbs for thyroid other than ashwagandha? You say in Body Belief to avoid ashwagandha. Nicole, so I guess I don't like to just loosely recommend herbs. I usually need to be working with the patient because everybody responds so differently. So if there's an autoimmune condition, ashwagandha can trigger things. So that's why I say that in Body Belief. But I do herbs based on like the clinical picture, not necessarily the Western diagnosis, I guess is the answer. I also have Hashi and I'm 41. This gives me so much hope. Let's see, what kind of surgery did you have, and again for what? So she had surgery for polyps. So there was a few polyps,
uterine
polyps, and she was resistant and a little scared, and we tried to do herbs and like castor oil packs, and you were doing acupuncture too throughout this whole thing as well.
Absolutely.
So that's the other thing too. We forgot to mention that. So she was doing the acupuncture. And were you doing any Mayan abdominal massage or no?
No, just the castor oil packs, acupuncture once a week, and all of that.
And then the diet and the
diet. Yep.
And we tried. I think we did 1 cycle or 2 cycles with herbs, which I also probably think I didn't hurt a thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
They really went after improving circulation and blood flow in the uterus and the ovaries. And then I think that was like probably March, April, probably, or April, May. And then she had the surgery in July. And this whole time she's doing acupuncture, following the diet, supplements, getting the support in the group. And then August, she's told donor eggs are her best option. And then September 16th, she got a positive pregnancy test with that little person. Okay, for me, the worst part is breakfast. Here in Italy, we used to have only sweet breakfast, milk, and cereals and cookies. So switching to different kind of breakfast is really hard. I totally get it. You could find some gluten-free kind of carby options, or
oats or something.
Oats. But I get it. But I would just keep looking around, and you're going to feel so much better doing protein in the morning anyway over carbs. So that's something that I would commit to no matter what. Is once a week enough for acupuncture? Absolutely. How did you discover you had the polyps? You had done the saline sonogram.
Yep, the saline sonogram. Yeah.
Because did I recommend that, or?
Well, no, I went to a fertility clinic, and they just run all the tests.
They did all the tests. That's what it was.
Yeah.
She went to the fertility clinic for the initial. They did the HSG and they did the saline sono. And then that's when they found the polyps. And then it took her like 6 months to really move forward with the surgery, basically.
Mm-hmm.
She was
that was a while.
But
a little stubborn about it.
Yeah, but you did so much in between too, but then I think you went and you repeated the saline sono and they were still there in the same size, or the period was just still heavy?
No, my period was just really heavy, and I was getting, frustrated with that because it was not pleasant at all. And even with such a clean diet and everything. And, I was asking you, I was asking my OB, I was like, do you think that having those polyps there is causing this heavy period? And, I think you and my doctor said, yeah, it could definitely be causing it. So I was like, well, even if it doesn't do anything for pregnancy, like if it helps,
let's do it.
Flow, like I'm going to do it.
And then look at that. I feel like you rarely hear of a natural pregnancy past 42. For castor oil, can I do it without my menstrual cycle? I have, absolutely, Garcia. It could help bring on the period. Janice, I feel like you really hear of a natural pregnancy past 42. You should stick around, and then yes, you can get pregnant e-course group, because we get lots of them. 42, 43, 44, 45. I've had a 46. That's so exciting to hear Alison's stories. I relate to the pizza. It's my hardest to get over, but I'm getting used to cauliflower crust. I always love that post when you see it on social of like, if cauliflower can become pizza, you, my dear, can do anything. I love that. There's a really good cauliflower rice recipe, or what's it called? What do I call it? In my Body Belief book. I made it the other night. It's like the cauliflower rice, but it's like fried rice. With oh my God, it is so good. And I just bought the almond, what is that? Almond Mills, their gluten-free pizza crust. I'm going to try and make that actually tonight, because it's a clean ingredient.
I love their crackers. So
I love their crackers. And then Capello's makes really good pizza crust too. That's in the freezer section in Whole Foods, or you can buy it on their website. And their pastas are good as well. Kite Hill. Those are dairy-free, and then there's another gluten-free, dairy-free ravioli that I like, that James eats, and it fits the need. Like, you get it. I feel like, I can do it. Sometimes the gluten-free pizza out is just like a waste of your time.
Yeah, it's gross. Sometimes it's gross. It's not even worth it.
It's just like, no, I'm good. I'll just eat the meatball over here. Okay, it's so great to hear these stories of hope. All right, so I'm gonna let Alison go, because baby girl needs her mama. But thank you so much, my love. And it was so good to catch up with you too. The cauliflower crust is not bad, says Nicole. I agree. So any final words of inspiration for the girls that are so inspired by your story?
I would just say, if you're sitting on the fence about, joining Aimee's program, just do it, because the community and all the tools and all the information she gives you is just, I don't even have words for how helpful it's been.
You're sweet. Well, I loved having you be a part of it, and
thank you.
And that's it too. Like, she can just come right back in if she decides she wants to try for another one. So you guys have until midnight this evening, and sign up. Let's get you started, and then maybe you'll be one of my 2020 stories of hope. Maybe you'll be sitting there like this, holding a 4-month-old that's got the best hair ever. I mean, her hair
got so much hair,
thick and luscious. Everybody saying thank you, so amazing, so hopeful. So all right, my love, I'm gonna let you go.
All right, thank you again for doing this.
You too. Have fun. Okay, good luck going back to work.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye.